sports listeners. I'm your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
This whole hour of Santa Barbara teen athletes. Woo! And we're talking all athletes.
You're live.
Good morning, everybody. This is Erica, the Queen of Teen. Let's start off with giving some shouts out to Eternity Ready Radio, because we're podcasted with them, and we've been partners now for about 6-7 months. And Jeremiah Ferris, I actually bumped into, not personally, but I jumped on one to your podcast. You had this convention. I was wowed. You're doing a great job, and thank you very much for the relationship. Listen, we're coming into, I think, I don't know if we're going to be chilly. I don't know. I feel rain. I feel cold. Dominique, what do you think?
I hope we're going to have weather.
We need water.
Well, hold on. We always have weather. Yeah. It's what kind we're going to get.
I don't know. It just seems like dropping, like
I know.
chilly. But without any further ado, let's do this. We've got teens in the house. They're doing such a great job. I'm so proud of our kids, our teens, and our queens. Let's start off with Santa Barbara High School. Romy, what's going on over at SB Don?
Thank you, Erica, and hello, everyone. This is Romy Davies, Santa Barbara High School senior, reporting back from Santa Barbara, California, with this week's SB Don Sports Recap. On Friday, it was our last football game of the season, which makes me very sad, as it will be my last high school football game as a high schooler ever. Beating San Marcos 26-7, the boys secured their share of the Channel League title with Rio Mesa and Pacifica. Abel Renteria and sophomore wide receiver Kai Malt, who connected 10 times for 157 yards, were voted co-winners of the Gary Blades Big Game MVP Award. So congrats to them. Now the boys are off to playoffs, so wish them luck. In water polo news, my amazing friends Jackson and Jared led the boys water polo team to Channel League title with a 13-10 win over Ventura on Thursday. Jared scored 7 goals and Jackson collected 12 saves. And their coach Mark Walsh mentioned that the Burford boys were outstanding and many of the saves were great shots to the corners. On Saturday, the team received a challenging draw in the CIF Division I playoffs, but they're still fighting and determined and will face Servite, the number 4 team from Rugged Trinity League, for a first-round game at their home pool on Tuesday at 5 p.m. That's it for this week's SB Dons recap, and see you next time.
Thank you, Romy. All right, next up, Valeria, Charger Town. Okay. DP Chargers. Valeria, what's going on?
Thanks, Erica. And hey, everyone. I'm Valeria with this week's Charger recap. Starting off with our cross-country team, they were invited to the Mount Sac Invitational, the last and most important meet of the year. Our sophomore, Evan Gordon, placed 4th place. For girls golf, Zacharica Mannion was awarded Athlete of the Week at the Santa Barbara Athletic Roundtable. And for football, Greg Chapathy finished the season as the number 3 punter in the country with an average of 47.6 per yard per punt, over 38 punts, and a total of 1,810 yards. Then going back to cross country, on Wednesday they went to the SB County Cross Country Championship. Our top boys were sophomore Emin Gordon with a time of 15 minutes and 30 seconds for the 3-mile course, and senior Tyler Jameson, who finished 5th. Boys varsity placed 2nd overall, and JV placed 1st. Then for the girls, Simi Wolf Lions placed 1st with a time of 18 minutes and 53 seconds. Girls varsity won 1st overall. Our boys water polo team will not advance to CIF finals after losing to Santa Barbara 7-4. The boys finished the season with 20 wins and 7 losses. And last but not least, girls tennis. This week was a very exciting week for girls tennis as Ellie Triplett and Mel Mayo made history. They played against each other during the Channel League finals. This is the first time in girls tennis history that both finalists were Chargers. The girls played hard, but Mel was injured during the second set and had to withdraw, making Ellie the first DP Channel League champion since 2014. And that is it for this week's Charger recap. I'm Valeria, and I'll see you next week.
How was she there, Anthony? Pretty good, man. She's got your DNA in her, yay?
She's killing it. I'm more proud, you know?
I was like, for months, I need a Charger. And it's like, oh, my niece goes there. I said, oh, my God. And we got Rya Carpinter in the house. And, I'm so thankful and so blessed. Next up, Sean Walters. Sean, what's going over at Bishop?
Thank you so much, Erica. This is Bishop Diego High School senior Sean Walters signing on once again to give you the Bishop Diego High School sports recap. Starting off with girls volleyball, the girls' season sadly came to an end on Wednesday as they fell to Capistrano Valley Christian. They finished the year as Tri-Valley League champs as well as CIF Southern Section quarter-finalists. Congratulations on a great season, girls. Also on Wednesday, though, our very own cross-country team had a great showing at the Santa Barbara County Championships. Laura Heineken broke the girls' 3-mile school record, and both Santiago Sosa and Tom Spieler are now in 3rd and 4th place respectively all-time in the boys' 3-mile. Almost all of our runners had PRs as well. Great job, everyone. On Friday, the varsity football team clinched an automatic playoff berth with a 49-28 road victory over Simi Valley to end the regular season. It was a record-breaking day for star senior Karan Gossett as he rushed 15 times for 406 yards and 6 touchdowns, both of which are school records. Big ups to that man Karan and the offensive line. Quarterback AJ Vele also threw a touchdown to Brian Trejo, and Misa Paya'u had an interception. The boys will now host Vista Marietta on Saturday at 7 p.m. at Santa Barbara City College in the first round of the Division III playoffs. Please make sure to come out and support. Well, that's all I've got for your Bishop Sports Recap. Please don't forget to tune in once again next week, everyone. This is Sean Walters signing off.
Thank you, Sean.
You know, he sounds
he's really good.
Really, really good. I'm impressed.
Can you hear the inflection?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now he's making his. I mean, from the first week. What's that?
He has a future in broadcasting.
See that? This is from Ed Langlo that just knows.
That's right. And I can hear him now on a play-by-play for football. He catches the ball at the 10. He's going to go all the way. 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. They took him down at the 5. What happened?
I don't know if you Romy did one. I don't know what it is. Ever since Sean jumped in. Yeah. So Romy did one, I don't know, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And she's so, elegant.
Elegant, yeah,
like,
good word.
Whatever. And she goes, Dons, yay, Bishop, boo. I was dying. Funny. It was so awesome.
That was good.
Yeah, it was really good. So anyway, we got a great show today. We got Rya Carpinter. And Ed, thank you. I've got to say, what am I saying? Oh my God, we can't forget the Royals. Ed, you're up next.
Royals.
There you go. Ed, what's going on?
Thanks, Erica. This is Ed Langlo, San Marcos class of 1967, here with a Royals recap. Running back Andre McCullough was recognized at the Athletic Roundtable last week for rushing over 1,000 yards for the season. For girls volleyball, 5'10" senior Riley Green was also given honorable mention at the Roundtable for all her accomplishments. Friday night, the 4 and 5 Royals faced the 8 and 1 Dons in Warkentin Stadium for the 62nd time as crosstown rivals. The Royals played a tremendous defense as they held the Dons scoreless for most of the first half, while Santa Barbara racked up 4 penalties. Late in the second quarter, 6'3", 235-pound quarterback Abel Renteria sprinted from the 3-yard line into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. In the second half, Adrian Elanese picked up a fumble on the 28-yard line for San Marcos. Then late in the fourth quarter, Josh Engel fired a 24-yard pass to Andre McCullough for a trip into the end zone, ending the game Santa Barbara 26, San Marcos 7. Some announcements from the desk of Athletic Director Abe Jahadami. Water polo playoffs start Tuesday. The Royals cross-country girls took second in the county meet, and girls golf received an at-large bid for the CIF tournament this weekend. Coach Robert Archer received a Lifetime Achievement Award Saturday at the Carriage Museum. Coach Archer was a teacher, mentor, and athletic director from 1968 to 2004. He came on board at San Marcos in 1974 as PE department chair for 13 years and athletic director for 5. He was an assistant football coach for 32 years and served as head coach for San Marcos for 2 years, winning a Channel League championship. San Marcos is a better place today because of Coach Archer's dedication. Things are slowing down as the fall sports season comes to a close, but winter sports are just 2 weeks away. Up next is college admissions counselor Rya Carpinter after this.
and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Thank you, Ed. I am Rya Carpinter, college counselor at Bishop High School and owner of Balanced College Planning. If you need help with the college application process, you can find me at balancedcollegeplan.com. All right, so November is a huge month for seniors in California. The deadline to apply for admission to the University of California, UCs, and to the California State University, CSUs, is November 30th. So the UCs, of course, would be like UCSB, UCLA, UC Irvine, et cetera. Cal States would be Cal Poly, San Diego State, Chico, things like that. So these are the two major public university systems in California, and they are among the most affordable options for local students. So I typically advise students to give these programs a serious look. So here are my tips for applying to the UCs and the Cal States in November this month. It is important to know that these colleges have very strict rules on what courses you must complete for eligibility consideration. These are courses that are referred to as the A to Gs. So when you are entering your courses into the college application, it can be a little bit tricky. A categories for history, B categories for English. You don't need to memorize all of this, but the bottom line is, after you have put this information into your application, check with your high school counselor and ask that person to just do a quick proofread. It only takes like 10 minutes, 5 minutes maybe, to do a quick proofread to make sure that you have put in your A to Gs correctly. In some cases, a machine could deny you admission to a Cal State, for example, just on a simple mistake. So check with your school counselor. It's so easy to do. The other advice I have for seniors is to get feedback on your personal insight questions. Sometimes students do these short answer. They're not really essays, but for the UC. So you have to do 4 of them. It's about 1 or 2 paragraphs. And sometimes students will just do 1 draft and call it a day, but they don't realize how important these are in admission consideration for the UCs, which of course are very selective. So be open to doing multiple drafts. Get feedback from somebody outside your family, ideally, just for a little bit of perspective. And the other thing related to the UCs that I always recommend is apply broadly. People are often surprised at just how selective these schools are. So, and also they can be surprised at, wow, I got into UCLA, but I didn't get into UC Davis, which surprises me for some, reason. These things happen. So apply broadly. It's actually right on their website with that recommendation. My final piece of advice for seniors is to try and submit your applications before Thanksgiving vacation. It's a great way to avoid any last minute panics near the November 30th application deadline. And of course, you can better enjoy your vacation. A quick little tip for the 9th through 11th grade students when it comes to the UCs and the CSUs. Of course, they have these minimum criteria for the A to Gs. Try to always push yourself to go beyond the minimum. I run into so many students who say, I did 2 years of a language other than English. I met the minimum criteria. I'm done. And, my goal is to be, to go to UCLA. Well, that's not going to be sufficient. Push yourself to do at least 3 years and really just go to the recommended category and try and exceed. That is it for me. I'm Rya Carpinter with Balanced College Planning. I wish you all a happy fall application season.
Go ahead, Dominique's got some questions.
Rya, I've got a quick question. So for kids that are really trying to plan out all the different options, all the different schools they want to have as an option, should they get with their English teacher or get with their history teacher or someone that has to do with language and say, hey, can I buddy up with you so that you proofread my papers or something? How do kids go about getting mentors to help them with the writing aspect of what they're submitting?
They do all kinds of things. They'll ask their peers to help them. They'll ask their parents or their siblings to help them, teachers, counselors. I would say that it's absolutely great if you're lucky enough to where you have a relationship with a teacher at your school who has the time to support you in that capacity. Sometimes it's very difficult for them to be able to take on that additional responsibility. But if you have that, absolutely. I would prefer that a student get feedback from an education professional than a peer, right? And even than a parent. But I'm finding that in many cases, parents can be pretty good at having a critical eye. So if you can't get a teacher to give you feedback, look inside your own home, and that can also be of use.
And then using Grammarly, have you found that to be successful for students to use that as part of their writing process?
It seems to be a pretty regular process that students are tapping into. And there's also a great website that I always recommend, College Essay Guy, has a lot of free resources for students. And he actually has a scholarship program for, underrepresented students, limited income, who can apply to get feedback from actual counselors on their essay writing. Of course, this is something that you would want to start in, the summer going into 11th grade.
Did you say, Rya, College Essay Guy?
I did.
Okay, ESSAY. Okay.
That kind of struck me as kind of weird too. But
no, that's good.
By the way, Rya, I've been submitting my forms for the last 10 years. I've heard back from no colleges. I don't understand why.
And I have one last question, Rya, because I know you're super, super busy.
Yep.
Okay, so you have a senior and he's a baller or she's a baller and a great athlete and comes up and not going to be a mathematician when they grow up, so they're just going to want to drop calculus. It was always been a hard thing for them on the math, and this way they can spend more time in the batting cages or more room in the weight room or running around the track. So what do you say to a situation like that? Because this is what I hear. So what would you recommend?
Oh, well, everybody needs to do what's right for them. Nobody's the same. So without question, there's going to be some unique circumstances where going to, exceed the minimum requirements, for example, like I mentioned with the language other than English, I might have a learning challenge that just makes it excruciating to do a language other than English, right? So, I would say consult again with your school counselor, consult with your family, and consult with your teachers and say, and am I making a solid decision here? And, there are schools that are hyper selective for admission, where if you're a recruited athlete, you actually can get in without meeting the minimum requirements to, and then conversely, I've had students who have applied to highly selective institutions where the coach has said, listen, I have a spot for you on my team. Now, go get admitted to my school, and the student doesn't get admitted. Right. So there's a wide spectrum. And so I think, the basic answer to that would be that, consult with important people in your life, go with your gut, and, push yourself to take challenging classes and get the best grades possible while maintaining your well-being. And that's all you can do.
That's awesome. Rya, do you have any more questions? We're all good?
Yeah.
Rya, you know what to say. You're wealth. You're a plethora of information every single month. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rya. All right, we've got a lot of show. We've got a lot of people popping in here. We'll be back with more after these messages.
Dance for me, dance for me, dance for me. Oh, 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 oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me. Hey, hey. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again. So they say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me. Oh, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, hey, hey. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Hello, I'm Dominique with Santa Barbara Wellness Center, and I also teach Braille to the blind, and I love to do a Hackett's Hygge moment.
Hygge!
Thank you. Where we talk about the comfy, cozy things in life that help us learn, help us connect with people, and my favorite thing is storytelling, because that's a nice way to bring in those fine qualities that we like to develop as our character. So this is an old story from Zululand. And Kristine, I don't know if you've ever heard this story, but it is a story about why the cheetah has marks on the cheetah. Why does the cheetah have the black
spots?
Marks? Yeah, why does the cheetah have spots? So apparently, a long time ago, there was a slightly wicked, lazy hunter who was sitting under a tree and he was watching a herd of antelope. And it was really hot. And he didn't really want to go chasing after the antelope. He was hungry. And while he was watching the antelope, he saw a cheetah come out of the bushes. And the cheetah went racing after an antelope that kind of gotten separated from the herd. And he thought, it would be so awesome if I had a cheetah that could go hunting for me. So while he watched this cheetah, it was a mother. And the mother had 3 cubs. And he thought, you know what? I'm going to go steal a cub, and I'm going to train the cub to go hunting for me. So he watched where the den was, and then at another time when the cheetah went down to the watering hole, he went over and he looked at these cubs, and he had a hard time fixing which one he wanted, so he took all 3. And when the cheetah came back and found her cubs gone, she cried and she cried and she cried and she cried so much. An older elder of the village heard her, and he went into the bush and he figured out what had happened. And he came back to the elders of the village and he said, "Hey, I know that this wicked hunter did something that's awful, that's not right." And so the elders came together and they got the cubs back from the hunter. They returned the cubs to the mother, but the mother had cried so much, her coat had become stained with tears. And so the purpose of the story is to say that it's the honor of the hunters, that they should only use their means to hunt. They shouldn't use extraordinary means. It's just not fair. And so he broke a taboo of the tribe by doing this. And the reason why I'm looking at this story is that in life, we tend to have situations where we're encouraged to follow the rules, and then there are situations where we're thinking out of the box. And if you look at this story, you could say, well, the hunter was just being creative. This was employing creative thinking. But in another way, he didn't follow the taboos of the tribe, and it made it unsafe for the community. So the quality of this story is such...
There's a lot of different layers.
Yeah, it has a lot of different layers. Kristine, had you heard this story before?
No, I have not heard this story before.
Yeah. So the spots on the cheetah are the tears, the cheetah's tears.
Alex, I know you need to add your enlightenment because we haven't seen you in a while because you've been working, okay? You're a worker boy.
So when you're working with teens, Alex, do you have situations where you realize, there's a conflict between following the rules and thinking out of the box?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, of course, with teens, they're always trying to test the limits too. And I think, something that I took away from the story, it goes to the mother, maybe fear of being alone. And teens sometimes experience that a lot, growing, maturing, getting into high school, figuring out who they are, who their friends are. And there's always that fear of being alone somewhere in something new. So it kind of translates to a client that I had this morning who was also experiencing some fear of being alone and isolated. But kids experience that a lot. And I don't think they realize how much they are, or how many other people are in that same struggle with them. And they just need to reach out and kind of think outside the box a little bit and see if they can find support or other people who can give them that kind of anxiety relief and let them know that they're not alone.
I follow along with you and maybe in a spiritually in a little different level, because you see kids all the time, and they look like they got the worry, just like you say, of the world. But I also see pain and I see shame. And people, when you're a kid, and it depends upon your home life, what you have to go through when you get home and how to navigate. And I know a lot of kids live on ice. I just would recommend to everybody, if, when you're out there, look. And if you see something, I recommend doing check-ins and saying, and I know you do this, Alex, you do this. This is in your big part of your practice, just saying, hey, what's going on? You okay? And because you could see it, you could feel it. Dominique.
Yeah, the care of looking people in the eyes and really seeing somebody. And the thing is, we don't have to have the answer. That's the amazing thing about being present for another human being. We don't have to be the solution for them. We don't have to know the solution for them. Just the fact that we're present helps, quite frequently, helps them come to the knowingness of their own solution.
I love when you say, Dominique, I see you and I hear you. And that just basically means that that person has your 100% attention right now. And once that connection is formed, it really does add relief.
Well, let me just say, Erica, that I see you and I hear you.
Erica needs everybody to see her and hear her. Let me tell you.
But you know what, Kristine, yeah.
My question kind of goes to, interestingly enough, it goes to the wicked hunter and his loneliness. And
go there, Kristine.
Who was there for him and with him to check into? He was hungry. He was lonely. He was by himself. And so he chose to go and steal versus where was his community?
Yeah. Yes.
And did he separate himself from his community? Do you know what I mean? And so my question is, like, because we do this when we don't feel a part of our community and we separate ourselves out and we feel like, we have to do certain things. And believe me, I am an Aquarius. I learn the rules to find my way through them. Just so maybe I may not have to follow them, but I know what they are and I know what's right and I know what's ethically right, and so that's where my mind went to.
I was hoping as you raised the 3 little cubs, they became vegetarian. and then speaking of vegetarian, I know, Anthony, you're talking to Carolyn Givens over at Something's Good Organic. How's that working out?
So far, so good. We'll definitely get somewhere.
Nice, of course. Anthony's on it. There you go. So veggies in the house. Okay. So Food Bank has got a new branch now. We have an organic branch.
That's right. There you go.
Of organic food.
And that goes to show that there is an abundance out there.
Oh yeah,
right. There is. It's just the question is, have you looked? Not literally. Everywhere?
Yeah.
Right.
Have you looked everywhere?
Right.
And have you talked with everyone?
Right.
Hey, is there anything you could do? Okay, I understand. I bless you. And anything really fantastic. And it blossoms. It just explodes.
I love it.
Ed, what's your take on it? Which side? Do you want to be the cub or the cheetah? The hunter? What do you want to be?
The elder in the village.
The elder in the village. You want to be the elder? No, that's not.
Well,
nice.
I'm already the elder in the village.
He found Ed went out with a posse and he found the
cubs. He found
the cub. I mean, he found the little baby cubs.
There you go.
So what did you take with the story, Ed?
Well, yeah, that's what I would say is that it's a moral that you shouldn't steal, and the spots are a reminder of the misery that was created in the cheetah by losing her 3 cubs.
Yes.
So I think people don't consider that a lot. I had something stolen from me recently, and I don't think the thief realized what they took, all the things that were contained in that wallet. And, they got a couple $100 out of it. I lost everything, all of my identity. And I keep thinking back on it. I'm thinking, oh, geez, I just noticed this license is missing as well. And I wonder if that thief knows how much misery they created for me.
Yeah.
So, that's a good moral, I think, that comes from that story.
Yeah. I know, especially all the accounting you needed to do after because your significant other, had to lay out the trip. You know what I'm saying?
And there's another story that I think does parallel this, and that was the story, and I think it was a true story. I actually do. This father had a little kid, who was of bicycle riding age, and the kid wanted a bicycle. Well, the father wasn't making enough to where they could really afford it. So they're walking along and he sees this bicycle just sitting out in somebody's yard. And the next thing you know, he's taken the bicycle and given it to his kid. All right. A few weeks later, his child is hit by a car.
Ooh.
So,
okay.
No,
Richard,
no.
Downer.
No. The point is, you don't know what what you're creating.
What waves in the universe you're creating.
That's it. What waves in the universe you create is the best way to put it. Exactly.
Right. Well, science tells us we are all connected. We literally, we don't know where one person ends and the other person starts because we're sharing oxygen atoms. And when you look at matter, there's actually more space in matter than there is stuff. I mean, life is such a mystery. So when we work in community, that's the main takeaway for teens, is just to recognize we're in community. We have rules and so forth because it helps us be in community, and keep the thinking out of the box within the range of also following those beautiful taboos of community.
Nice. Listen, let's take a break. We've got Anthony Rodriguez, and then right after Anthony, the close up the show, we've got Kristine Marie with A View from the Deck.
Well, now together we will stand, every boy, girl, woman, and a man.
And this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Hey everyone, this is Anthony Rodriguez with the Food Bank of Santa Barbara County, but also with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So we got to think about it. Suicide prevention starts with everyday heroes like you. Suicide and mental health conditions affect millions. Together we can bring these issues out of the darkness and create a culture that's smart about mental health. These walks and events give people the courage to open up about their own connections to the cause, and a platform to raise awareness about mental health and suicide prevention. Friends, family members, neighbors, and coworkers walk side by side to support each other and offer support, help, caring, and also in memory of those that we have lost. I really encourage everyone to participate in the Out of the Darkness Walk, which will be in Goleta this year on November 12th. And you can register at afsp.org and look up the Santa Barbara Walk. And I really hope to see you guys there. It really makes a difference, especially now that the holidays are coming up. You know, sometimes people feeling alone, a little frustrated or overwhelmed, or maybe that they feel that they don't have enough to give or to eat. You have to let everybody know that, you know what, you are enough. It doesn't matter what you can give, it's who you are. And I think that really makes a difference because it's hard to be alone. And the thing is that they're not alone, and please don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help, or even just to say hi to somebody. If you haven't talked to somebody in a long time, you know what, pick up that phone and say hi. Write a letter. People forgot the art of letters, writing, just writing a letter. Hey, how's it going?
We call it happy mail. Letter writing is happy mail.
Yeah. And it makes a difference. And, if you see somebody walking down the street, they don't look too happy, smile at they don't smile back. That's okay. Don't take it personal. But you know what? Just notice somebody, because you never know what just that smile can do. And it can save a life. It's a proven fact. And so, parents, please, be aware of your kids' surroundings, talk to them, try to be part of their lives. I know sometimes when we're kids, we push each other away. We push our parents away. But it's important, and unfortunately, we will appreciate it later on in life. But kids, don't make the same mistakes that I did. Please see what you have in front of you. See that you have a roof over your head. You have somebody that cares about you. And how do you know if they care about you? Because they're nagging you, right? They're bugging you. And you might not want to hear it now, but I promise you, you will miss it when it's no longer there. And you don't want to get to that point. And just from personal experience, my birthday just passed, and I used to get mad because my mom used to make me lasagna all the time.
Anthony, I'll make you lasagna. I love making lasagna.
It kills me that I didn't have lasagna this year.
Oh, well,
that's
all right. We're making it.
And my lasagna is not gluten free. Okay. Okay. Look, Kristine, I'll make half Kristine. Half. Kristine's looking at me, little boo boo face. I'll do half gluten free, half for Anthony.
No dairy, and then
Anthony, did your mom put sausage or meat in it? How did she make it?
I don't know, but I do remember that she used to spend hours and hours making it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So
all right.
But, you know, that's the whole point, is that don't wait till you no longer have it. Appreciate what you have now, because you never know when it'll be gone.
You know, I know we talked about it off on the side, not on a show, and I think that you said you're going to be getting the new reports any day. Let's just talk about what's going on in Santa Barbara. I'm hearing, and it's no fault to the great responders that we have in the area. We love our force. This is
our police,
more
our sheriff,
than anybody could have
responders.
ever imagined. So what do the numbers look like, Anthony?
Well, the number of attempts is actually pretty high. I have to wait till I get the next updated report, but you know.
So has increased, you're saying?
It has increased. But the thing is that we have to take care of it now. I mean, we have to be aware of that. I mean, don't allow there to be another attempt, because you know it might not be just an attempt. You know, the one thing that I think that people don't know about is that the sheriff's department has a brand new team that's called the Crisis Intervention Team. And if somebody's having a mental health condition and they don't want to call the cops or actually have just a regular sheriff's respond, you can ask and make sure that you state, I have somebody going through a mental health crisis. I need the crisis intervention team or the CIT team. And they will send out trained individuals that are part of the sheriff's department, but they're also trained in, in mental health. And they're the ones that you want to go responding to your home. They, out of personal experience, I've always been afraid to do that, right? Because of personal experience, but this new team that they have is amazing. And I heard, I listened to the radio and I'm always hearing everything that's going on. And I listened to the call that I called in. No, my goddaughter called in, excuse me. And she said exactly what she needed to say. And they responded beautifully. And they got her brother some help. There is no violence. Everybody went in there with compassion. Was aware that he had a mental health condition. And that makes a huge difference. So, I got to give it up for the sheriffs for doing that, having that team. That was unexpected, but let me tell you, it works.
It's pretty wonderful, Anthony. And with the Department of Behavioral Wellness here, they are working with what's called a co-response teams, where they have a therapist who comes with the trained sheriff or the trained officers. So it's really is helpful. And I wanted to put out too that there is also the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, that 988, to dial 988. If you don't have anybody to talk to and you can't think of anything else, please just call 988. They will find a way to help you. Yeah, to help.
And I made use of calling a line when I was pregnant at 17, and I wasn't ready to talk to my family about having an unplanned pregnancy. So admit to people when you use these crisis lines and so forth, to give courage to other people to reach out.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's very important. It is.
And there are more, I think, coming down the line because of the mental health crisis in general in the world. There are going to be more opportunities of maybe not even having of just having, mental health professionals come out instead of having to call the police, right? There's going to be more options and opportunities, I think, for that.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is kids are our future, and Anthony is the shining light to that.
Thank you, Anthony.
He's had his own personal experiences, and look what we got. We got our Anthony. Woo! Yeah, we love our Anthony. Oh my God, he's like my little brother from a different mother, from a different different universe. Yeah, there you go. We both had spirit animals. Mine was an elephant. I don't know what yours was. Yours was a cheetah. That's what it was. It was a cheetah. Dominique had the cheetah cubs that were vegetarian. Okay, listen, we've got Kristine. Don't go anywhere. We got Kristine with the view from the deck right after these messages.
New Orleans, in New York. Brazil. Back in the USSR. Way down in LA. Every day, dancing in the street. Crossing China too. Me and you, dancing in the street.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
9 a.m.
Welcome back. This is Kristine Marie.
Hi.
Sorry.
It's all good.
And you have
Back, this is Kristine Marie. And all of these stories of shadow, going into our dark stuff and of cheetahs and reminds me of two cards in the tarot deck that I'm going to talk about. The first one is the Princess of Wands. And Wands is spirit and fire. And on this deck, there's a princess, and she is basically chasing her tiger. She's taking her tiger by the tail. She's doing her spirit work. She is transforming those dark stripes of the tiger into what I like to say the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is standing outside the fire, holding a big torch with these really cool black boots. And I call it, I say that she's a spiritual badass. So she's taking her. She's this is the card of spiritual badassery. So she's taken, and what she's got sitting next to her is a cheetah, or it could be a leopard, but it's a large spotted cat. So it's like what the princess has done by taking on her shadow work, by taking her tiger by the tail, by facing her demons, right? She's created an opportunity for herself as a queen to stand in her power and to hold the light for others and to have dispersed those dark lines of energy into spots. And they might have been tears too, because oftentimes, when we're frustrated and we're angry, and a lot of that anger is often protection for our sadness. It is beautiful. Actually, if you've added another element into my tarot with that, the story of the
cheetah and her spots
and the tears, because really, how do we disperse those dark shadows? Is by going to the emotion that's underneath them, not just the anger and the rage. And those things are true, right? And often depression is anger directed inwards instead of actually outward supposed to be. Right. So anger protects us. If right use of anger is so protective.
Yes.
But when we use that anger against ourselves because we think something's our fault, that isn't necessarily our fault. I think about how for the logical mind, it doesn't need to be true. It just needs to make sense.
Yes.
So when we go back and we look at those things that made sense to our mind, to our childhood mind, it made sense because we didn't know what was going on in the adult's life. So of course, it must be my fault. I must be bad because these bad things happened to me. No, these bad things happened because these people were having their own troubles, and we were in the line of fire, or we were. I don't even know how to explain. I don't know what word to say about that. But just, from our adult perspective, it looks different. And what made sense then doesn't make sense now. And then those tears, to cry tears for ourselves.
Yeah.
It's really important to love ourselves.
I want to give a gratitude to my brother, Ashley. He gave a quote that was really beautiful. He sent me a quote that said, "Do not be afraid of your difficulties. Do not wish you would be in different circumstances than you are. For when you have made the best of an adversary, it becomes the stepping stone to splendid opportunities."
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good
one. And then we go back to the sense of just being there for somebody. One of the most, there's a quote somewhere, maybe I'll find it for next week, but really there is a quote about if you can just sit there and sit with someone while they're in their pain and hold it for them, don't fix it, just love them through it. They can, they can feel their feels and they can find their way through.
Woo!
Anthony, call out one more time the walk we're having.
The walk is Out of the Darkness Walk will be November 12th. You can register online, and it's free to register. So join a team, create a team. It'll be, again, November 12th. You can register at afsp.org and look up Santa Barbara Walk and register to participate. It'll be at Goleta Beach.
Very good.
Beautiful. That's going to be a nice walk, Anthony. Thank you for everything. Anthony, I'm going to the store now and getting everything I need to make you a lasagna. And then don't worry, Kristine, I'm going to make one for you too. I was thinking, what am I going to cook today? I had a squash. I put it out. We're going to switch it up. We're going to be making some lasagna. Pick up your lasagna or I will deliver it to you, Anthony. Okay? All right. You're getting lasagna tonight. Tell Bianca. Hey, that's the end of the show. Everybody reach out. Hug it out this week. Eye contact. Make somebody happy today. God bless you all. See you next week.
You're the best around.